The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the QHTV staff or board of directors. QHTV, in compliance with FCC regulations, is prohibited from exercising control over the content of independent, member-produced public access programming.
Many moons in eastern sands, how we search the heavens high. Now we sought to understand this new light before our eyes. Yonder star in western skies.
Boy, I'm feeling pretty sad. Why? Because Christmas is over.
But Christmas continues until January 7th.
What are you talking about? It ended on December 26th.
No, it didn't. The Armenians celebrate Christmas on January 6th, and both Greek and Russian Orthodox Christians celebrate Christmas on January 7th.
Why the two dates?
For their liturgical celebrations, Greek and Russian Orthodox Christians follow what's called the Julian calendar. That's a calendar that was authorized by Julius Caesar in 46 BC. Pretty much everyone else, including us, follow the Gregorian calendar. Christmas falls on January 7th on the Julian calendar. It sometimes varies depending on the church. Our Christmas, according to the Gregorian calendar, falls on December 25th.
Really? You're kidding.
No, really. I'm telling the truth.
Wow, I never knew that. But which calendar is right?
Well, actually, both are wrong. But the Julian calendar is more off than the Gregorian.
How?
You really don't want to get into all the details. Let's just say it has to do with exactly how many months, days, hours, minutes, and seconds it takes the Earth to go around the Sun once, and what to do about those leap years. The astronomers that helped Julius were a bit off.
That sounds way too complicated.
Yeah, exactly. So in the 1500s, along comes a pope named Gregory XIII. He was sort of a reformist. In addition to being a theologian, he was also a lawyer. What do you expect? He started the Gregorian calendar that dropped a few days off the Julian counting system for greater cosmic accuracy.
Cosmic accuracy? Did you say cosmic accuracy? Was Pope Gregory planning on sending spaceships into outer space? What was he? Some kind of mad genius?
There still are a few problems with the Gregorian calendar, which we won't go into. And that's why Christmas is celebrated on 2 different days.
You're too serious, old fella. Lighten up a bit. If you want my opinion, we don't celebrate Christmas often enough. Don't you think so, Mr. Pineapple Head?
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. Would you like to leave the studio for a second and take a stroll outside to look at the Christmas lights?
Yeah, sure. After all those insults, I could use some fresh air. question of the 2 dates for Christmas, of course, leads to the bigger question. When was Jesus born?
When exactly was Jesus born?
Wait, guys. I got to hear this. Mind if I join you?
Not at all. Please join us.
There's a lot of disagreement about the year and month of his birth. Some believe March, some believe September. Almost no one who's a student of such things believes December. Historians and chronologists do their calculations with clues from the Bible, Jewish practices at the time, historical records, and astronomy.
Astronomy?
Yes, come on. Did you say astronomy?
Yes, astronomy. If you remember correctly, 3 wise men, sometimes called 3 kings from the Orient, found the baby Jesus by looking at the sky.
Really?
Right. We call these people stargazers to their faces, but behind their backs we call them nutcakes.
Yes, let me read to you where the 3 kings used astronomy to find the manger. This is from the book of Matthew, chapter 2. Jesus was born in the town of Bethlehem in Judea, during the time when Herod was king. Soon afterward, some men who studied the stars came from the east to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the baby born to be the King of the Jews? We saw this star when it came up in the east, and we have come to worship him."
But what do you think happened in the sky back then to lead the kings to the manger? I couldn't find my way using the stars if my life depended on it. I need a nice GPS system.
Me too. I not only need a GPS system, I also got to stop at a gas station for directions.
A lot of us can go for months without looking at the sky, but back in those days, a lot of travelers, including sailors crossing the ocean, used the stars as a guide. They didn't have GPSs in those days. You know that, don't you?
Yes, of course I do. What? You think I'm stupid?
No, but sometimes I don't know where your mind is. You should use it more often.
Okay, all right already. Get on with your lecture, Professor.
Yes, go ahead and explain.
Well, alright. We now know that 3 major things happened in the sky around the time of Jesus' birth. Around 5 BC, Chinese astronomers make note of a slow-moving comet in the sky. They called it a Sui Sing. The comet appeared between March 9th and April 6th, but actually, those who knew what to look for in the sky spotted the comet in January sometime. That could have been the star of Bethlehem that the 3 wise men followed. It would have given them enough time to get to Bethlehem from their country. I read about this in the quarterly journal of the Royal Astronomical Society.
I'm impressed.
Ah, finally a railing where we can rest for a minute.
Wow, what a nice place to rest with Boston behind us.
Thanks, I try. Well, the other strange thing that happened in the sky was the alignment of Jupiter and Saturn in 7 BC. Light from the 2 planets, when combined, gave off a brightness that would have caught the eye of any astronomer worth his salt back then. The 3rd astronomical event happened in June of the year 2 BC. According to the New York Times, it was a rare conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. The 2 planets had merged into one single gleaming object, one giant star in the sky, in the direction of Jerusalem, as seen from Persia.
Very interesting. Persia is probably where the kings came from. But why would the 3 wise men travel all that distance to see Jesus?
That's a good question. In those days, astrologers and astronomers were hired by kings to advise them on matters of defending their kingdoms. One thing that astrologers and astronomers looked out for was the birth of a king in a nearby land. And they believed in those days that the planet Jupiter was often associated with the birth of a king. So all the activity around the planet Jupiter probably got them really curious enough to follow the star.
Mind if I call you Professor from now on?
Yeah, cool, I don't mind.
I didn't mean that as a compliment.
Don't take it personally. Pineapple Head here has his share of problems.
Whatever. Have a very merry second Christmas.
By the way, back home, the Feast of the Three Wise Men is celebrated on January 6th. Bet you didn't know that.
How about the Three Amigos? When do we celebrate their feast?
Think you're funny? Ha, ha, may I suggest we go back to the television studio? Bill, Betty, Frank, Grace, Steve and all those lovely people are waiting for us.
Now we sought to understand this new light before our eyes, yonder star in western skies. Long ago the Hebrew spoke of a star in Jacob's land. Now this star it has awoke with a scepter in his hand.